Ever wondered how an 11-year-old kid managed to connect with so many millionaires? It's a story of intrigue, strategy, and the undeniable power of networking. Join me as we unravel the fascinating journey of Keith Ferrazzi, exploring the keys to building a robust network that can transform your life. Ready for the ride? Let's dive in. Today, we're diving into a captivating book summary of Never Eat Alone. In the 1970s, the steel industry had collapsed, due to which many people lost their jobs. Author Keith Ferrazzi's father had no job for 6 months. His mother used to go home and work. Seeing the condition of his family at the age of 11, Keith had to do his first job. He used to carry golf clubs for rich people in a local golf course. Seeing all these rich people, Keith had only one question in his mind. Why do some people become so rich and the rest never get rich? Now, this is not a simple answer, but Keith understood one thing very well, that rich people help each other a lot. Their children go to the best schools in the city. They do internships in the biggest companies and support each other's ideas and innovations. In other words, some people will call it nepotism. Now, either you can complain about it or you can learn to use it. At the age of 11, Keith realized that poverty is not just a lack of money. Poverty is also a lack of social capital, meaning the more you try to do work alone, the slower your progress will be. No matter how smart, talented, or rich a person is, he will not be able to do everything alone. Building a career without a strong social network is like building a building from mud. Its foundations will be weak and it can fall at any time. In fact, a survey of 282 people was conducted in a study in which 56% of the people said that they got their job through personal contact, 19% of the people got their job through an ad, and only 10% of the people got their job manually. It is very important for you to realize that all your goals involve other people. That's why it is very important to build a strong network. And Keith Ferrazzi did the same. He added all the millionaires who he used to carry golf clubs to his network. And today, Keith Ferrazzi is a science of relations, collaboration, and a world-renowned expert in the field of networking. He has more than 5,000 connections. He has leaders of big companies, influencers, and media personalities. But the first question is, how did an 11-year-old kid connect with so many millionaires? Most important thing, don't keep the score. Keith used to go to the golf course 30 minutes earlier every day, where he used to roam around the course and check each and everything very carefully, like where the flag is placed, how much grass is cut, etc. And whenever a golfer used to ask him which club he should use, Keith used to have all the information. He knew how the ball will roll, wind conditions, etc. He used to help all these millionaires to reach their goal, because of which, in the future, everyone helped Keith become a millionaire. The connection between two people is a two-way process of giving and receiving. You should never hesitate to help people. Whenever someone asks you for a small favor, you should usually do it. Relationships are like muscles. The more you use it, the stronger it will become. The more you help people, the more people will try to help you. The author says, "A good networker never asks, 'How can you help me?' Instead, he asks, 'How can I help you?'" You should never keep track of your time, money, expertise, or experience. And you should share as much as you can with people, because they will always come back for you. Even if the other person is unable to help you, even then, he will say positive words about you to someone else who might help you. The next thing is something that many people fail to do. Build it before you need it. Imagine that you have an old friend who doesn't talk to you much, doesn't want to meet you. In fact, he doesn't wish you on your birthday. But suddenly, you get a call at 2 in the night. He is in jail, he needs bail, and you are the only person who can help him. Now tell me, will you help him? Most likely, even if you think of helping him, you will feel a little shy. You will feel that this person doesn't talk to me. He called me when he was in trouble. Most people make this mistake that they contact people only when they need them. Whenever they go to an exhibition, event, or seminar, they meet a lot of people, and they exchange numbers and LinkedIn with everyone. But after that, they don't follow up. They don't communicate. And then, in the future, when someone remembers a task, they immediately dial his number to ask for their favor. At this time, you don't even remember the person in front of you, and he feels that suddenly someone called him. Good networking means doing the opposite of it. You need help before that. You have to start connecting with people. By doing this, you will build trust and mutual understanding between the two, which is actually the foundation of your network. Bill Clinton used to live with the same rule before becoming the president. When he was a 22-year-old student, he had a habit where he used to take a notebook every evening. The people he met that day and whatever he talked about, he used to write it down in a notebook so that the next time he met people, he would remember their names and what they talked about before. You have to be patient to build your network. Winning the trust of others is not a sprint, but it is a marathon where you will not get the reward with speed, but with stamina. That's why, whenever you do networking in the future, you must try to build trust and mutual understanding before reading the work. And to build this trust and understanding, you will need relationship glues. Friends, this thing must have happened to you. Suppose you are talking to someone or telling something, but you feel that the person in front of you is not very interested. He is looking around, checking his phone, or you can see on his face that he is getting bored. But it is possible that subconsciously you started trying more. You started impressing him more. Or you are trying to tell something very interesting, but it has no benefit. In the same way, it must have happened to you too that the other person is talking about the war of Russia-Ukraine, talking about politics, or talking about reality TV shows. But you have no interest in his talk. And because of this, a mutual connection cannot be created between the two of you. If there is no common topic or interest between the two of you, then the conversation dies very quickly, and the conversation ends there. You have to become such a person that when you talk to someone, then he remembers what you said. And when he goes home, then he thinks about you that you were an interesting person. And to keep the conversation interesting, you have to find such a topic, such an activity which is common for both of you, in which both of you have an equal interest. That is why it is said when many rich people have a common interest, then automatically there is friendship and networking between them. And when you keep networking, then you will start meeting very interesting people who are called super connectors. It may be that you know your friend when you need some help. You call him. And then even if he cannot help you, but he will call his friend who will call his friend, and after 3, 4 connections, your work will be done. In this case, your main friend is called a super connector. In the 1960s, social psychologist Stanley Milgram had studied the power of super connectors first, and he gave the same letter to 160 people living in Omaha. On the letter, he had this instruction that he had to deliver this letter to a particular stockbroker in Massachusetts, but neither could he directly send this letter nor could he deliver it himself. So those 160 people passed on this letter to their network, and these letters passed through many people through different ways. But the shocking thing was that the last point of all the letters were only 3 people, which means that these 3 people were somehow connected to those 160 people. These 3 people were super connectors for that city. While networking, you will meet 2 types of people. One is mentors, with whom you meet or talk and learn something which helps you grow, and the other are super connectors. Super connectors are basically those people who have thousands of contacts, which are very useful to you. If you bring any super connector to your network, then your network automatically expands a lot. But if you don't want to get a super connector, then you can become a super connector yourself. Lewis Howes, the best-selling author and the host of School of Greatness podcast, tells that when he was starting his career, he didn't think about how to get the money. He just thought about how to connect different people. He connected so many people to each other that automatically he became the leader of the groups. Now, if you are thinking that networking seems like taking advantage of people, seems very selfish, then you have to remember tactical empathy here. When there is a psychotherapy session, then any psychiatrist listens to their patient very carefully, encourages them to understand the feelings behind whatever their patient is saying. They try their best. They keep asking questions like a child. How are you feeling? They don't judge you. Sometimes it happens that they understand their patient's problem in one sentence, but still, they encourage them to keep talking so that the patient feels that this doctor understands them. Until we don't feel that someone else understands us, then it is very difficult for us to connect with them. But if someone sits with you and talks about your feelings and really tries to understand you from the heart, then you are more connected with them. It has also been seen in the medical industry that the doctors who listen to their patients before giving the diagnosis, their treatment is more effective. And this same principle also helps you in networking. Until you don't make the other person feel that you understand their world and care for their concerns, till then he will be uncomfortable in dealing with you. You can give him as much a good offer as you want. He will reject your offer. That's why you have to keep empathy. Don't just look at other people as a tool. Look at them as a person. Understand their feelings, their hopes, and dreams. When you can connect with all these things, then only you will be able to make a strong network in which people are not taking advantage of each other but are helping each other to grow. As we conclude this journey through the principles of strategic networking from Never Eat Alone, remember that building meaningful connections isn't just a professional strategy, it's a life skill. Whether you're navigating the corporate world or pursuing personal goals, the art of networking can open doors and create opportunities. So go ahead, apply these principles, be generous, strategic, and empathetic in your connections. Your network isn't just about what you gain, but also what you contribute. As Keith Ferrazzi beautifully puts it, your network is your net worth. Thanks for joining us on this exploration. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, happy networking.